So I'm going to go with a Noah first. And actually, you know what, Noah? I keep doing this. Yeah, there you go. It's
Yeah,
all.
I just muted it. Hi everybody. Thank you for having me. I mean, just to get right into it, I think that we have this series like Backlash, right? The Democratic Party is afraid of being run over by non-Democrats. I mean, I hear that all the time. Like they're not really Democrats, or the people who don't really vote, they don't know what they're voting for. But there's really a lot at stake in terms of the party. We've had major losses from 2010, 2012, 2014. People are not inspired. People are not coming out. People are not voting. And Bernie Sanders has invigorated not just millennials and younger voters, but first-time voters, people who sat out all those other elections as well. So I think, just like you said, like Senator Obama, well, President Obama, former Senator, see now I'm messing up. In 2008, then Senator Obama invigorated people, and people came out. I know in some parts of Iowa there's a snowstorm hitting. Like people are really showing up and showing out, and they're stepping up because they believe and they're motivated. I mean, that's been a big problem with the Democratic Party in the last 3 election cycles, is that people are not motivated, and saying those people over there are bad, you need a Dem, that's not cutting it. And the marginalization of voters from the Democratic Party with the whole "you're not a real Dem" stuff, it's pretty alarming when that's supposed to be the party of protecting voters' rights. So yeah, I think the higher the turnout, the better it is, and Bernie says it himself all the time. So hopefully everyone has gotten out to their caucuses like they need to tonight, and I'm looking forward to see what happens.
Awesome, awesome. Let me jump over here to David. David Grossman, what do you think about the turnout conundrum, the differences in the establishment, et cetera, et cetera? You got it.
Well, I would just say, first, thanks for having me on. Second of all, I think that one of the biggest things that's really ironic is the fact that the Democrats are scared of the turnout, because the establishment has its sights set on Hillary. The fact that they know that the turnout, that high turnout won't be for Hillary. They won't admit that, but it's obvious with so many of the tactics that they've employed.
Right, right.
I think that says a lot about the party, that they're almost rooting for low turnout.
Here's something I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. I don't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go for it.
Just some data that's coming across my screen over here is that some interest in Iowa, and I believe Iowa is a right-to-work state. I'm just throwing that out there because I think I've heard that. I can find that out. But right now, based on the turnout in the Democratic caucuses, 80% of the people who have submitted the entrance polls have identified themselves as non-union members. 20% are union members. Now, this is a very small sample size. It is an entrance poll. I just think it's interesting that the number of people not in unions is so dramatically high, and that really represents kind of the changing landscape in the demographics for not only the Democratic Party but the nation as a whole, which is reflected in the type of governors that we elect and the type of legislation that they enact. Another piece of data, and I'm going to pass it to J.P. Rankin. Let me just pull this up on my screen over here, is that when Democrats, the entrance poll, Democrats were asked, what's the most important issue to you? 7% said terrorism. 26% said income inequality. And the rest of it kind of breaks down as expected. J.P. Rankin, you can address any of the other things that we already mentioned in terms of high turnout, low turnout, but I'm going to turn it over to you. What do you think?
Well, again, first, good evening, PA. It's always good to be with you. Ben, thanks again for the opportunity for us all to have the ability to just share our voice and our thoughts. Again, what this shows is the shifting of our nation, and it's almost like 45 is the cutoff number. That's the number that they've been throwing out there, and especially as it pertains to women. Women over the age of 45 want to see Hillary. Women under the age of 45 want income equality. And it really just speaks to the systemic figureheads don't have the power that they had before. Yet, so the establishment on both sides are trying to control the narrative so much so that they've pulled out all the stops. And so what I'm sensing is that, again, I believe that Bernie and his pollsters knew that without the turnout, that means the first-time caucus goers are not there. And I think that's a good number for us to look at this evening, Ben. How many folks are first-time caucus goers? Because those would lend themselves toward Bernie and also lend themselves towards Trump. So if we don't have a large first-time caucus goer pool to go from, then the establishment candidates are going to have a good evening.
Absolutely agree with you. I want to circle back to something. I was right. So Iowa is a right-to-work state, and they've been so since 1947. So there should be no surprise that 80% of the people coming to this caucus are non-union members when they haven't even had a good chance to build unions before they were even attacked. So, and I agree with you, J.P. Rankin. It really is a breakdown based on the age demographic, which is amazing to me, right? Because you have Bernie Sanders, who is the oldest candidate in this race, who is appealing to the youngest voters, people 45 and under. I mean, he's leading across all demographics underneath the age of 45, women, men, black, women of color, just across the board. Noah, what do you think it is?